All right, let me make sure this is all recording. If you hear this, it's because my baby's right here and I'm doing the multitasking mother thing. So for those of you, I know we have a ton of new people on our team this month alone, which is awesome since the beginning of the month. And if you do not know who I am, my name is Jessica, and I am a coach, the coach and founder of Health Patriot Nation. And I'm super passionate, like a nerd status passionate about Shakeology, about the superfoods in Shakeology. And I wanted to break down for you why it's so powerful and why I'm so insistent that people drink it regularly for optimal health reasons. There's a lot of different opinions that are unfounded about Shakeology, and if you Google it, you'll find a ton of mixed opinions out there. And so I think it's important for you to know the facts, to literally grab your bag of Shakeology and follow along on the back with me so that you know what I'm talking about. Let's see how long this almost 4-month-old lasts. And I'm going to be answering some questions that our team has asked, and also answering some other questions that I've seen out there. But basically, my goal in this is to break down the formula in Shakeology so that you better understand what exactly it is and why it does what it does when we drink it consistently. Okay, hold on. Do you want to be a part of this with me? I know that everyone likes to see you, but more than me anyways. Okay, come here. Okay, we're bringing the owl. Baby Liam wants to be a part of it. Okay, so I'm drinking my green berry. We're outside today because it's gorgeous. And feel free, as I'm talking, if you have any specific questions, to type them in the chat box below, and hopefully they will pop up for me to answer for you. Okay, so what I have on hand here is vegan Shakeology. I have vegan vanilla, but I'm also going to be talking about the whey-based ones. And then we just got in our packets. If you guys didn't know, you can get packets of Shakeology as well. These ones are chocolate. I'm going to pull one out so I can show you what they look like for those of you who haven't seen these. They're actually super convenient. They're a little... Yes, Brie, I still have your questions. I will definitely answer those. They were great ones. So these are really helpful too. Just so you know the difference, when they're it's the exact same price, and when you order the bag, you get 30 servings, and when you order the packets, you only get 24. So it's kind of the downside. But we have a lot of Shakeology because we go through it so fast between me and my husband. So yeah, so we like to have a little bit of everything. Okay, so hopefully you guys have pen and paper or your computer to take notes, because I'm about to share a lot of information with you. I've never made chocolate pudding with the Shakeology, but I've heard it's insane. In fact, Samantha on our team told me about a chocolate pudding pie that sounds bomb.com, but I really want to make. I just haven't. Okay, so again, have something to take notes because I'm going to share a lot of information with you. And I think it's going to be really helpful, not only for you to know for yourself as to why you're drinking this and paying $100 to $130 a bag for this shake stuff, but also so that you know how to answer people's questions when they ask you, what is this Shakeology thing that you're doing? What is this shake thing? You know how to answer their questions, and you're able to get really excited about it and why it's so powerful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the back of the bag. So this is why it will be really helpful if you have your bag in front of you. If you don't, Google Shakeology nutrition label or something real quick, and you can pull up the back of this bag essentially, and you can go through it with me because it will help you to follow along. Okay, are you guys ready? Liam's ready. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the first ingredient, there's 5 different formulas that are within each serving of Shakeology. The first one is the protein blend. Second is the superfruit antioxidant blend. The third is the phytonutrient or super green blend. Fourth is the adaptogenic herb blend. And fifth is the digestive blend. And so we're going to talk about all of those. The first one, the protein blend. Here's why this is important. There is a different amino acid profile with each type of protein. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. And when you eat protein, in order for your body to absorb and utilize the protein, it actually has to break it down. Your body has to break down the protein molecules into amino acids, which are the smaller, like I said, building blocks of protein. That's actually what we absorb and what we utilize for cell regeneration, for muscle regeneration, for all of that. And so it's important that we have a variety of different proteins in our diet, and so that we can have the broad range of those different amino acids, because they function differently in the body. And this is one reason why I love the protein component of Shakeology. So many people think that Shakeology is just a protein powder, which it's not. And I try to shout that from the mountaintops, because I always say, if Shakeology was just a protein powder, I would never be paying $100 to $130 a bag for just protein powder. It is only 1/5 of what Shakeology is, but it does have protein in it, and a very high quality protein blend. So in the vegan formula, it's a mix of chia seeds. If you don't know, they were used back in the Roman days. The Romans would eat chia seeds before going off to war because of the high endurance level that it gave them. It's very, very powerful. So chia, pea protein, which pea protein, I'm totally going to interject in all these ingredients. Pea protein is super cheap to get a really crappy quality of pea protein. In fact, it can actually be kind of harmful. But our company, Beachbody, has such high standards, and their heart is so in what they're doing, and truly trying to reverse the negative health trends in America and in the world, that they pay much more. They go to much higher, longer lengths, and have much higher standards for pea protein. That we only have one distributor for their pea protein, and it's in Europe, and it's a very they have very, very stringent regulations on their pea protein. Most people don't think twice before they buy a cheap protein from Walmart or from CVS or GNC, and they just think, oh, it's a cheap vegan protein, so it's good for me. And that's not true. Actually, a lot of vegan protein powders, and whey for that matter, are laced with different heavy metals, and they are actually, a lot of companies don't have extra testing to make sure that it's 100% pea protein or rice protein or whatever the protein may be. And a lot of them have fillers that are inside. Maybe it contains 80% pea protein or 80% rice protein, but the rest of it are other added ingredients that are mixed in to bring the cost down. And so our company goes to great lengths to make sure it is what it is, and that it's a very high standard, that it has no heavy metals in it and no other potentially harmful ingredients. It is 100% pea protein. So I love that. Sacha Inchi is an amazing exotic superfood that's very high in protein. It's not something that we're very familiar with because it doesn't just grow around in California, but it is very, very powerful. And then flax protein, quinoa protein, rice protein, and oat protein. And again, the rice protein, there are so many rice proteins out there that are laced with heavy metals. And if you could do the research, there's a lot of very popular protein powders out there that use rice protein, and they have been found to really have some bad stuff in them through third-party testing. And so the fact that our company goes to great lengths to make sure that the ingredients that they put into the superfood formula are very high quality and are pure and are of the greatest quality possible is a big deal. And that's part of what we're paying for. I guess this is a great time to tell you about the testing that goes into each ingredient in Shakeology. So as you know, there's over 70 superfoods in each bag, right? And they get them from around the world. And Bree, this is where I'm going to answer one of your questions. Daily Sunshine is certified organic, and it's like our kids' version of Shakeology. Shakeology is not certified organic, and the reason is because There are over 72 different superfoods in each bag, and they come from all around the world. They come from very exotic places where we can't grow, like matcha or maca powder. These things we don't really grow here in America, but they're very, very powerful. And Beachbody wanted to include it in the Shakeology formulation. And so they had to go outside of our country to get it. And so the certification process for being a 100% certified organic product is a very, very, very expensive, and it's very hard to do when you have so many exotic ingredients, because you have to certify each individual supplier that you're getting your ingredients from. And that being said, the standards are the same. So as far as like testing for heavy metals, for hormones, for pesticides, for antibiotics, for all of that, it is tested for all of these things. They are making sure they're using suppliers that don't use any pesticides, don't use any sprays, that it's non-GMO. That's something that the company is actually very passionate about. And it's something I researched extensively before ever trying Shakeology, because if you guys know me, you know I am a nerd in these areas. Like, I have very, very high standards. If Shakeology had all these good things, but it had, for instance, sucralose, even if it was at the very end of the ingredient list, I would never drink it, and I would never be a part of the company, because I would know that if you are a part of a company that is promoting health and wellness, artificial sweeteners are bad. And if you're still using that in your products, then that means that your heart is not truly to actually spread health. It's more of a financial gain. And so the fact that I believe in all these ingredients and I approve of them is a big deal, because I am a nut when it comes to that stuff. Do we have access to their test results? That's a good question, Bree. I'm actually not sure. We have a new vice president of nutritionals, Dr. Luigi Grattan, I believe is his last name. Now I'm totally spacing. But I actually talked with him via email personally, because I had a couple questions, and he's a very, very passionate and very knowledgeable about all of these areas, which I'm very thankful for. And he was breaking down the testing process for me. So what they do is we have representatives from Beachbody corporate who go to each of our distributors for these different superfoods. And they do basically like a white glove test to make sure everything is very clean, to see the sourcing of the ingredients. They do, I'm hoping I'm remembering these numbers right, because I forgot to write them down. 60 different tests there at the plant to make sure it is what they say it is, that there's no other ingredients laced into it. So there's so many heavy metals, you guys, that are naturally present in soil. So they make sure there's no pesticides, no herbicides, no heavy metals, that it is what it say, that it is pea protein, for example, what quantity, like it's 100% pure. They do 60 different tests at the plant before it leaves. And then all of those have to pass, and then they ship it over to the mixing headquarters, I'll just say, where they mix Shakeology. And after they mix the batch, before they mix the batch, once it gets there, they do 300 different tests on all of those ingredients again. Then they mix it, and then they do 60 more additional tests after it's already mixed on every single batch to make sure that the ingredients are still present, so that there's still this much ashwagandha, and there's still this much pea protein, there's still this much chlorella in each batch, to make sure that it is what is on the label that you're reading. It is very rare for a company to do that, because honestly, they don't have to. The majority of people don't care. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who would rather Shakeology be priced much lower and not have these high standards. They're just looking at the price tag. And to be honest, for a company to go to this extent to make sure that purity and the quality of the product stays consistent, it's amazing to me that like for anyone with a coach discount that we can get it for $97, and even retail that it's only $129. It blows my mind that it can be that affordable with all that it contains and for the quality to stay high. But really, they have to have that really high quality in order to have, like, this company believes so much in their product that even if you buy a bag and you drink the whole thing in 30 days and you're like, I feel a little better, but I'm not really happy. It didn't do what I thought it would do. I want a refund. They will honor that. Like, they want you to be so happy with the results that you see in only 1 month, which is not a lot of time for a natural product. They want you to be so happy that they put their money on it and they say, you drink the whole bag in a month, and if you're not happy, we'll give you your $130 back. That's a big deal. Like, can you imagine going to a Jamba Juice and saying, I would like a $7 juice, and you drink it and you're like, I don't really feel any different. Can I have my money back? Obviously, no. Like, if you go to the store and you buy anything and you're not happy with it, you usually, if you've already consumed even a bite of it or opened it, you can't return it. So that's a big deal. To me, that's a big deal from a business perspective. You know, that's a big deal. And just that their belief in the product is it's amazing to me. And I think that says a lot. Okay. So, so we talked about the testing. So going back, so the protein blend is really comprehensive, which I love. The only difference in the vegan and the whey formula, or the original, which is the black bag, is that the original formula contains whey protein. And so one of the questions I asked Dr. Luigi is there a future? I actually wanted to ask the sourcing of the whey protein because that's something that's really important to me. I wanted to know a little bit more about the processing and you know, where it's sourced. And so the whey protein is sourced from Europe and from New Zealand and, oh my gosh, Ireland. Ireland? I hope I said that right. Anyways, where the cows are grass-fed, they don't use, again, they test to make sure there's no hormones, no antibiotics at all present in the whey. The way that the whey is processed is through a patented cold filtration process, so that the whey molecules are undenatured. And this is a big deal. So people who are buying whey protein at Walmart or from GNC, and if they're not paying attention to this, to all of these aspects, their whey protein will most likely be filled with hormones that were pumped into the cow. They will have potentially antibiotics or different steroids in the whey protein that the cow was injected with. And it's probable that cow was eating genetically modified corn, and it was most likely processed at a very high temperature rate, which means, like, don't ever drink any dairy or consume any dairy that was homogenized. I'm pretty sure my son just blew up his diaper for you guys, especially for you. This is my Shakeology baby. Homogenized dairy completely destroys the absorbability of any beneficial components to the whey, to the dairy, milk, anything that you are consuming. So you really want any dairy to be processed at a very low temperature level so that it retains the enzymes that are necessary to break down those lactose molecules. And this is one reason why so many people have a hard time digesting dairy in general. It's because the fat molecules are very big and we are not made really with the digestive capability to break those down on our own. Natural raw milk from a cow comes with the necessary bacteria and enzymes to break down the molecules that are naturally present in the milk. And so when we pasteurize and homogenize it, all that good stuff's killed, and we're left with this really difficult to digest mucus producing substance. And so the fact that, again, the heart of the company, they went to great lengths to make sure that they utilized not only a very responsibly sourced whey product, but that it's also processed at a very low temperature, because they know this, and they know that it's essential to retain all those enzymes and beneficial nutrients. And if you heat them too high, they're going to be killed. So I think that that's a big deal when looking for a whey protein. Also, it is on the horizon. Dr. Luigi's, one of my requests was to find a certified organic whey. Now, I know that it's nearly impossible for Shakeology in itself to be certified organic, but if we could use a certified organic whey, that would be amazing. And it's actually something that they're talking about. And he said he's been in the conversations himself, because that's something that he really wants to bring. The hard part, you guys, did you know that in 2016, one of those years, Shakeology was surpassed as the #1 shake in the world? That's a big deal, and it stayed there. There's over 700 different kinds of shakes out there. And the reason why they put the ingredients obviously out there on the internet, but they still have to be very careful as far as how much it contains of certain ingredients, because they need to retain the it needs to stay proprietary. I can't think of the right form of that word to tell you right now. But basically, like, you can't tell your secrets to everybody, or else everyone's gonna, all these other companies will steal it. And there are a lot of different brands that have tried to mimic Shakeology, but they were the first to come out with this. We just celebrated Shakeology's 10-year anniversary. There was only, I think, like 60 different types of shakes out there, including protein shakes, and now there's 700. And so many have tried to copy Shakeology, but they don't go to the lengths that Beachbody has gone to in order to have such a high quality product. Every single shake that I've been sent, like, hey, can you check this out? Like, even Vega Protein, or what's the other one? It's Isogenics is really popular. They're still not, they don't compare. I will always find something that it doesn't have. And so when you cut the price, if the price is cheaper, there's usually a reason. And there's other companies out there that are way more expensive and have less ingredients. So it's a pretty big deal. And honestly, in the beginning, I thought, yeah, it's kind of high price. But now that I know what it does and what's in it, now that I've researched it over the last 2.5 years, I am, like I said before, blown away that it costs what it costs, and it has all that it has. Okay, so we're moving on to the Superfruit Antioxidant Blend. So this is where it contains super high vitamin C herbs and plants that really boost our immune system, help protect against anti-aging properties, help with our skin regeneration and things like that. So some of those that you can see on the back of your bag: Camu Camu, Acerola Cherry. Those are two of the plants in the world that we found have the highest vitamin C content over anything. Like, you guys think oranges are high in vitamin C? Oranges ain't got nothing on Camu Camu and Acerola Cherry. So that's a really big deal. Also, the other ones that are in there are a big deal, but I really love that it has rose hips, because I learned years ago that if you were to go to the store, he likes it too, apparently. If you were to go to the store and you were to get a vitamin C supplement, first of all, your body can only absorb so much vitamin C. And rose hips is actually an herb that they found that when combined with Acerola Cherry or Camu Camu, it actually increases the absorbability of vitamin C in the body. So when I read the ingredient label and I saw that it had rose hips in addition to the highest natural forms of vitamin C, I was so happy, because that means, like, their science and research department that's a part of Beachbody, they know what they're talking about. And I just love that. It really meant a lot to me. Like, no one else is going to recognize it, but it meant a big deal to me. Why are you so fussy? So, that is the superfood antioxidant blend. And I have heard like many of the people on our team. Many of the people on our team have told me that, wow, I've noticed in the past year of drinking Shakeology consistently, I'm not as sick as I used to be. And this is one of the reasons. So that's a really big deal. Obviously, our immune health is really key when it comes to both sides of either getting sick or even those of you who may have an autoimmune disease. I guess I should say right here, like, the FDA has not approved what I'm telling you. Beachbody Corporate has not approved what I'm telling you. This is 100% from my own opinion and research. So don't sue me, okay? But why are you so noisy? So this is one of the reasons why people with autoimmune issues who drink Shakeology consistently, they see a big benefit. There's several different factors, but this is one of them because you need an immune support, and this aspect will really help support your immune system. And I'm using a baby toy to accentuate the importance. Mr. Owl says so. Okay, next one, Super Green Phytonutrient Blend. So in this one, some of the phytonutrients are, by the way, phytonutrient basically means like a plant-based superfood. Moringa, chlorella, spinach, kale, matcha. So chlorella in particular is one of my favorites because I learned years ago when I was researching different cleanses and detoxes and when to do detox, when not to, and what are the herbs that are important and effective in it, what do you want to include. Chlorella is at the top of the list for, sorry, he's so loud right now in this time in his life. Chlorella acts as a magnet to toxins, and so whenever you are doing any type of cleanse or detox, you want to include chlorella because this is what happens when you do a cleanse or a detox and your body's not ready for it or you're not doing it properly. Our toxins are stored in our fat cells. So this is why my son is now trying to talk over me. When you try to start a new exercise program, for example, you may start to feel nauseous or like you have the flu. And one of the reasons is because you start to release those toxins that were stored in your fat cells as you're burning excess fat. And so that will subside, but chlorella is really helpful in that because it acts as a magnet to toxins to help eliminate it from the body. Chlorella has also been found to be very effective at helping with heavy metal detox, which we all are exposed to. If any of you have any silver fillings in your mouth, that's, we can talk about that later. It's something to maybe look into safely getting removed. But heavy metals can cross the blood-brain barrier and have an impact in your brain function, especially in the long run. So chlorella is very, very powerful in that aspect. Moringa is also one that's more popular that has so many health benefits. Like I can't even begin to tell you. Basically, the super green element here is very powerful for detoxification and to alkalinize your body. For those of you who don't know, in I believe it was 1921, there was a doctor called Dr. Otto Warburg, I believe. I hope I'm not butchering these people's names. Anyways, he won a Nobel Prize, you guys, for finding that cancer cells cannot survive in an oxygen-rich or alkaline environment in the body, but they thrive in an oxygen-deprived or acidic environment. And they've actually done studies and research that shows that if you take a regular healthy cell and you put it in an oxygen-deprived environment, it will turn cancerous. And when you put it back into an alkaline or oxygen-rich environment, it will return to its healthy state. That is so powerful. And so, a lot of what we do on our team, in our programs, with our eating programs, with our exercise, when we talk about mindset, and with drinking Shakeology, is all geared towards helping the pH balance of our body to become realkalinized and to avoid those acidic foods or environments that are going to cause your body to deteriorate. There's a method to our madness, and this is one area that's very important for just vibrancy in general, for your health in general. So you definitely need to be incorporating a super green aspect to your supplementation. Okay, the next two I have to say are my absolute favorite. So we have the Adaptogen blend. Some of these, hold on, I need to take a drink because I'm about to blow your mind with this information. Okay, these are some of my favorite superfoods, you guys. I have a challenge for you. If you want to be blown away, because I don't want to be on here for 5 hours, look up the herbs in the Adaptogen blend portion of your Shakeology drink. Look on the back of your bag and research them. They are incredible. So they include ashwagandha, astragalus, cordyceps, maca, maitake, reishi, schizandra, and chaga. You're probably like, oh, what? Like, I don't know what any of those are. And that's because a lot of those are actual mushrooms, and not like mushrooms you buy at the store, and they're not like hallucinogenic mushrooms, so don't worry. What is your deal? I think that I gave birth to a future public speaker who really wants to talk a lot. Okay, so first, let me explain to you a little bit more about adaptogens. They help bring you back to baseline. Who doesn't go through stress, right? Everyone is exposed to stress at some level. I mean, hello, like motherhood, parenthood. And even if you don't have kids, like social media, we are always stressed. Always, we're bombarded with it. And so one area to help our bodies become more resilient to this stress so that we're not constantly breaking down is our adaptogenic herbs. And this is specifically the component that really helps people with their energy. Like, you will most likely notice in the first month of drinking Shakeology consistently that your energy has improved. And if you don't, like, take note. If you stop drinking Shakeology, take note to your energy. And if you start drinking it again, take note to your energy. This was the biggest component to me that I'm so thankful for. I have, for those of you who don't know, I have a almost 2.5-year-old and now a 4-month-old, and I started drinking Shakeology 3 months into my first son's life. And so for me to say that my energy levels are better now than before I had kids is a big deal. And I'm not just saying that. I am being honest. And I haven't slept through one night in the last 2.5 years. So that's a big deal for me to say that. There are many days I drink 2 Shakeologies because I need extra, but still, the fact that it really helps me be a better mom and a better wife is a big deal to me. So I would say if you were to purchase a supplement to help with your adrenal health, which is your adrenal glands are 2 walnut-sized glands that are on top of your kidneys. If you were to purchase a supplement to support those glands that are responsible for your stress response and your stress hormones, it would contain at least 1, if not more, of these ingredients. And you're most likely going to pay anywhere from $30 to $70 just for that bottle. So this is a big deal. Ashwagandha and astragalus and schizandra are 3, in my opinion, 3 of the most powerful adaptogenic herbs to help with our stress levels and to help with hormonal balance in general. Again, this is not Beachbody saying this, and this is not FDA approved. This is from my own research and my own opinion, so take it or leave it. I really don't care. I just know what I know to be true from my own experience and research and from working with people. So those will play a huge role in your energy over time. And then the cordyceps, maitake, and reishi are all really powerful medicinal mushrooms, and you can research those on your own if you want. But one thing I found really, really phenomenal is that pretty much all three of those you will find in medicine and medical journals in their research against cancer cells. And again, don't sue me. I'm not making any claims, but if you do the research yourself, you will see that oh my goodness, cordyceps or reishi mushroom are known to create what some have referred to as bulletproof immunity. They are so powerful in our immune systems, and they're so powerful against cancer cells, and there's no side effects. There's no potentially negative side effects from incorporating them into your diet. I used to pay a lot of money for a reishi extract because it's that powerful. And oh, that's the one I forgot. Chaga mushroom. Beachbody just added chaga and matcha into Shakeology last year. I believe it was a year ago now. And I was like a giddy schoolgirl when I found out that they were adding chaga, especially because I've known for years that the power in that medicinal mushroom, it is so powerful for so many different reasons when it comes to our longevity and our vitality and our immune health and our protection against cancer cells forming. So do research those on your own. If you research anything, research those specific ingredients, and you will be so excited every time you drink your Shakeology because it's amazing. Okay? And Bree, to answer your question, do we need extra supplementation if we are off balance besides Shakeology? I would say, depending on the person, potentially yes, and depending on your level of stress, yes. I personally, when I have like a really rough week where I have a high stress load or my boys don't sleep at all, in addition to drinking probably 2 Shakeologies a day, I also have an adrenal supplement that I take that I found helps me. It's the Delgado Protocol Adrenal DMG. I really like that one. There are others out there that are great, but I do like that supplement, and I feel a difference when I take it. I think it's also important here to address that if anyone has thyroid issues and their doctor gave them a thyroid medication to take, granted there is a time and a place for medication, especially when there's a severe imbalance. But if you are not also healing and supporting your adrenal glands and your thyroid gland have a very intimate relationship, and they drain each other and they support each other. So it's important that you're addressing both. One of the easiest things to support your thyroid is, I know no one's going to want to do this, but eating seaweed. It's very high in iodine and really powerful at supporting your thyroid. The Delgado Protocol company also has a rad iodine supplement to help support the thyroid if you wanted something additional. But I know, I personally have clients and people on our team who have completely gone off their thyroid medication with their doctor's approval after incorporating Shakeology over time, because it's really supported their endocrine system. Your endocrine system is your hormonal system, and it's really powerful for that. So just a food for thought, because I know a lot of people struggle with their thyroid, and this could be something that could be a game changer for you, like it has hundreds of thousands of other people. Okay, moving on to the last component, which is the digestive blend, I will say. So if you read the back of your bag of Shakeology, you'll see yacon and chicory root. Those are both prebiotics. Prebiotics are food for probiotics to basically keep them strong and alive. And then you'll see Bacillus coagulans. And I just learned about this probiotic this year. So you guys, probiotics are all the rage nowadays, right? Most people know that they're good for you and they're good for your digestive health, and they are. They're very essential at healing the digestive system and staying very healthy. But one thing I learned about this specific probiotic is that our company was very intentional with the probiotic they chose to put into Shakeology. And the reason is there are I can't even tell you how many thousands of different bacteria strains that you can get, that you can purchase or you can consume as your probiotic. Unfortunately, most of those, when you buy a probiotic, a lot of those pills that you're buying are a waste of money because the probiotics have already died, or they will get burnt up when you swallow them and they come in contact with your stomach acid. So Bacillus coagulans, the probiotic that is in Shakeology, that is in Daily Sunshine, and that is in the Ultimate Reset kit that you can get for the 21-day cleanse, is specific and is scientifically proven to survive our stomach acid, which is a very hostile environment, and to travel down and be released into our small intestine. And in our small intestine is where we need the most support and the most help. That is where you will have the leaky gut issues. That's the area that's going to be responsible for the bloating and the undigested food. If you ever struggle with any kind of IBS or constipation or diarrhea, it's all coming from your small intestine. And so it's really important that the probiotics travel there. And I want you to think of them as like these mini construction workers that you're consuming to get to your small intestine to patch up the holes in your intestinal lining, to kill bad bacteria that gets there from a poor diet, stress, alcohol, all these different things that we all encounter or do to ourselves. It's very important that the bacteria survive to get to the small intestine, and that's what Bacillus coagulans has been proven to do. It has this protein shell coating around it that keeps it safe through the stomach acid, and then it is activated in the small intestine. And so that's a really, really big deal. And this is why around 90% of people who start drinking Shakeology and drink it regularly will see an improvement in their digestive system. This is also why some people who start drinking Shakeology may notice some bloating or some gas maybe, and that is, if they're drinking the vegan formula, then that is potentially from a die-off effect from that probiotic going in and killing the bad bacteria, and the off gas that it produces from the bacteria dying is known as the die-off effect, and that will eventually go away, and it's essential for that to happen in order to reestablish an optimal balance of bacteria in your gut. So that is the probiotic aspect. And then the last part of our digestive blend is the enzymes. And for those of you who don't know, we require enzymes to break down our food, and we have a limited number of them in our body. And you need a different type of digestive enzyme for each different type of food. And that is why you see all of these ingredients ending with ACE. So like amylase, cellulase, lactase, glucoamylase, alpha galactosidase, invertase. Okay, so amylase is carbohydrates. You need that specific enzyme to break down carbohydrates. Cellulase is helpful for vegetables. Lactase is helpful for any kind of lactose. And then basically, just so you know, all you need to know is that you have a wide variety of digestive enzymes to help you break down the wide variety of foods that you're eating. And hopefully they're all healthy foods. We have enzymes that are naturally present in any type of raw food. So your raw fruits and vegetables will all have very high enzyme content. Sprouts have very high enzyme content. Any kind of sprouted breads that you're going to do, or sprouted grains, have enzymes in them that help to digest and break down those foods. And it's very important and essential for digestive health and wellness. So I love that they have that in there. Again, this is something they didn't have to include it. It was amazing on its own, but the fact that they knew and they had the intention that people need help and assistance in their digestive health in our day and age with the stress that we are constantly surrounded with, it like literally, it means a lot to me. It goes a long way in my trust in the company and in the product. So here are some other questions. If you guys have any questions with what I just went over, please type them so that I can answer them. I'm going to answer a couple other questions that I got. 1 second. Okay, so Bree, one of your questions, why do they say to drink it within 30 minutes of making it? Does it spoil or lose potency if you pregame for the day? Great question. And I would say that the reason why they say that is because those enzymes and everything's kind of reactivated when you mix it with water. And it's like when you juice. Think about when you make a juice, it's best to drink it within 30 minutes because the oxygen starts getting to those active nutrients and they start losing their potency. What? So it's best to drink it within the first 30 minutes. But if you don't, like I've been talking for more than 30 minutes and I'm still working on this, it's still effective. It's just like most likely it's going to lose some of the enzymes in the Shakeology, which is still fine because there's other stuff that's still active. And then what are the pros and cons of drinking Shakeology with just water versus blending it with other ingredients, which is another great question. And I would say that the benefits of drinking it with just water is more for people who need the convenience and who maybe are sensitive to certain things. Like if you notice you're having a hard time digesting it, I would try mixing it with water to make sure that it's not something you're adding to your Shakeology that's causing the digestive upset. This is just mixed with water, honestly, because it's the easiest and the fastest for me. I am one of those people, I don't care what it tastes like. I know it's good for me and I need it in my body because I know that I'm going to feel better. So that's why I drink it with water. But when you drink it with just water, it's just known as, it's just a snack replacement because there's only, if you guys look at the ingredient label, there's only between 150 to 170 calories in one shake. That's not enough to sustain you for an actual meal. So if you want a meal replacement, you need to blend it with something else. It needs to be like almond butter, spinach, and half a banana, for example. There's a bunch of different recipes out there. You can go on Pinterest or ask in our team page if you want, if you're a part of our team, and that would probably be helpful for you. But that's really the only benefit or difference. Some people have a very sensitive digestive system and they need to only drink it with water. So again, it's just up to you. Totally depends on your convenience level. What else? Let's see. I also had the question about caffeine. So in the cafe latte and chocolate flavors of Shakeology, there is naturally present caffeine, and that is just because chocolate has naturally present caffeine, and so does the coffee fruit that they use. It's not actual coffee. Look at that, he's falling asleep. Hopefully I'm not making you guys fall asleep. This might be a sign that I need to stop talking. So I just looked it up, and you can find it in the FAQs on beachbody.com. But basically, all flavors of Shakeology have under 2 milligrams of caffeine, and the coffee and the cafe latte have between 12 and 20 milligrams. To put that into perspective for you, a 1 8-ounce cup of regular coffee contains 95 milligrams of caffeine. And so there's a huge difference there. It's not going to keep you up at night unless you're very, very sensitive to caffeine. Then that's something to know and to take note of. But it's not going to be a huge difference that you notice. The energy difference you feel is not from the caffeine. It's from the adaptogenic herbs and the nutrient density. And that's one of the reasons. The nutrient density is one of the reasons why it helps so much with our cravings. When we crave certain things, the reason is because we are lacking certain nutrients in our body. And so our body is craving something to try to fill those nutrients, and we usually reach for the wrong things. But when we have something like this, it's so nutrient dense, then it really helps to satiate our cravings because our body feels satiated from the different nutrients that we're getting from in such a small amount, which is awesome. Okay, Bree wants to know, can I talk about the Xanthan Gum? Yes. I don't know enough about formulation to know specifically why it is used, but I know that it does help with the consistency. It is the third to last ingredient in Shakeology. I know there's nothing harmful about it. From my research, there's nothing harmful at all about it. It's just something that is helpful for consistency, which, as you know, that is a thing for people. Like, consistency is a big deal. A lot of people won't drink it if it doesn't have a decent consistency. So I know that that's one of the reasons. Other than that, I'm not sure, but it's something, if you like, I can look more into. But I know that the sourcing of it is a great source, if that helps at all. Let's see. I know I've gotten a question about drinking Shakeology during pregnancy and breastfeeding. So this is my Shakeology baby. So those of you who know me know, I obviously drank Shakeology all through my pregnancy, and it was the best thing that I could have done. It really changed how I felt when I was pregnant with this one versus when I was pregnant with my first one. And the only difference, to be honest, was the Shakeology that I drank, because I was active in my first pregnancy. I was doing CrossFit before I was pregnant with my first one and through the first part of my pregnancy. And I just had a heck of a time at the end. I had horrific back pain, and drinking Shakeology this time was a huge game changer. So I'm very thankful for that. Also, again, I'm not going to make any claims, but he's a way better baby than my first one. And I really believe a lot of that has to do with the nutrient density I was getting throughout my pregnancy. I will tell you right now that if you go and ask your doctor, hey, can I drink this while I'm pregnant? A lot of them will say, I don't know enough about it, so no, because they don't know. For those of you who don't know, the average doctor, family practice doctor, has one course of nutrition in their entire doctorate schooling. That's a couple months of learning about protein, fats, and carbohydrates. That's it. They don't know about this stuff. So how could you expect them to give you an accurate decision or an opinion on something that they don't know about? It isn't fair for them. And then if you are trusting a doctor with your whole life, it's not good on your part either. You have to do the research on your end to know exactly what you want to do for your family. As someone who had a miscarriage, obviously I was very very careful with what I put into my body, and I wanted to research the heck out of it. Even though I loved Shakeology before being pregnant, I wanted to make sure there was nothing in there that was going to potentially harm my unborn child. And so I did a ton of research. I wanted to know all the reasons why different doctors or different people were not were saying don't drink Shakeology when pregnant, and I realized they didn't know the true sourcing of the ingredients. They didn't one of the things was vitamin A. Don't drink Shakeology, has too much vitamin A. It's not true, especially if you drink the vegan form of Shakeology. There are no fortified vitamins and minerals in it, meaning that every single vitamin and nutrient you see on the back of that nutrition label is from fruits and vegetables. And the vitamin A that is in Shakeology is from, it's like the same type of vitamin A that's in carrots. Have you ever heard of a doctor telling a pregnant woman, don't eat too many carrots, it'll hurt the baby? Obviously not, because it won't. But a synthetic form of vitamin A absolutely can be harmful toward the baby, and if it's in excess amount. So that's where there's a huge, you have to know what you're talking about when you give these kinds of opinions, and you have to know what you're looking into. There was ashwagandha, I think, was one of the ones that someone had said could be harmful towards the baby. If you research ashwagandha and where it came from, it's actually used to help promote a healthy pregnancy. So it's just important to do the research. I wrote an article on this you can find on my blog, health-patriot.com. Just search the word pregnancy and you'll see the article come up for how Shakeology is actually very powerful and helpful through pregnancy and when you're breastfeeding to help with keep your milk supply up and have good quality milk. Obviously, I just fed him and I'm drinking it. So I wouldn't tell you to do anything I'm not doing myself, obviously. I think that's it, you guys, as far as questions, some of the most popular questions I've been asked. Hopefully this was helpful. Sorry if it was a little bit on the long side. Oh, sorry, Bree. Let's see. You have one more question. Let's see, am I correct? And why do you think they made the change? So Bree's asking, when she first started drinking it, it had wheatgrass in it, and now she doesn't see it. And that is, so the same thing's true for spirulina. And this is one of the things I actually really like about our company. Again, goes back to their heart. The the sourcing of these ingredients, if they're not able to find a good quality, very high quality source, then they would rather remove it than compromise. And the spirulina, for example, we have a lot of nuclear issues going on, if you guys aren't aware, in the world. And it's been very hard for them to find a very responsibly sourced spirulina, even though it's a very high quality, amazing, powerful superfood. They really wanted to get that really high quality, and it was very hard to find for the quantity that they needed, and so they decided to remove it, and that all is found on the FAQs. And I haven't looked specifically on the wheatgrass. That's something I can look into as far as why they took it out. It could be because there have been a lot of people with wheat allergies, and in order for this to be a gluten-free formula, they just decided to remove the wheatgrass. But that's my guess, but again, that's not from an FAQ that I read, so I could definitely look into that. But it was a good question. All right, you guys, hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to either, if you're on our team, post in our team page under this recording. If you're seeing this on YouTube, feel free to email me at thehealthpatriot@gmail.com. I would be more than happy to answer any other questions. And if you want to give it a try, feel free to reach out to me. I would be more than happy to hook you up. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.